blame
Remind
her.
me.
Well,
So what I would
you can
suggest
add
that
that
we,
in at the end too, right?
what I would just suggest that we do is approve agenda items 2 through 4, and then we can proceed with the rest of the agenda. I apologize, folks. So if you want to call for a motion to approve agenda items 2 through 4, I think that will suffice for the purposes of this exercise.
Do we have a motion on that, please?
I move to accept items 2, 3, and 4.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Barbara and
Any
Ruth.
questions? None being, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed at all? Not, that being said, it's carried. Okay, item 5, resolution. Designation of thanks. Fine. Let's see. Is there any questions on this, Mark?
No, so
Any
the
issues at all?
we would just require the resolution from our bank to designate the signatories annually. So the signatories on our accounts typically have been the secretary treasurer, the executive director, and Amy Weinstock, our office manager.
Are there any questions?
No.
We have a first. A motion.
Bill
Make
Bruce,
motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll
DJ
second.
Hogan, David,
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Number 6, item 6. Amendment to CARES subaward to AACA. Memo 2202.
right, this is part of our CARES Act allocation. As you recall, we subawarded $200,000 to county economic development entities, roughly $50,000 to each county. Albany County chose to allocate half of their share to the Community Foundation. No, the Community Loan Fund, who managed some of their COVID recovery loans, and the remainder they wanted to use on a planning exercise. So they decided to amend what they're going to use the money on for economic development purposes to focus on offshore wind. This resonates with our companion project with CEG to look at supply chain issues for offshore wind. Albany County is taking a more fine-grained look and examination of sites in Albany County that could facilitate upstream or downstream associated industries to support the offshore wind industry. Amendment to the memo, original memorandum is attached in addition to the revised scope of work. And the revised scope of work is for $25,000.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Are there any questions?
I'm just curious, Mark, you know what, in the Port of Queens, it says it will host a major transition to this facility. You know what that is?
I know the Port of Queens is part of the overall capital district offshore wind. I'm not familiar with what specifically they're going to be doing, but they're, the blades and the equipment, are large pieces of equipment. So there's going to be some logistical involvement between both the Port of Albany and the Port of Queens in moving the equipment down to the ocean.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion made.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any? Is anybody opposed? That being said, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, the next item, item 7, which is the NBRC DOS broadband grant scope. Mark.
Right. So back in October, the board, or July, way back in July, the board authorized us to accept this grant. The grant is funded by the Northern Border Regional Commission. It's a federal agency. We're the Economic Development District for the purposes of that federal entity. The New York State Department of State was awarded a grant from the NBRC to focus on broadband. And they've decided to sub-allocate funds to the regional planning entities around the state to work with their local stakeholders and counties to advance broadband infrastructure where needed. So what I've attached as a purpose of an update here is just a draft scope of work of what that looks like. We will be receiving $176,000 to work on broadband planning for infrastructure development projects in Rensselaer, Saratoga, Schenectady, and Greene County. For the purposes of this program, since Greene County is an orphan in terms of regional planning entities, NBRC asked us to host them, so they're part of our project for the purposes of this project. So we'll be taking a look at lease serve physical infrastructure, service quality, environmental justice issues, but really the main work for our staff will be to find out and work with the county stakeholders to understand what their priorities are and to maximize what is relatively in this space, limited resources to do something useful for each county to help them along to expand broadband access and broadband quality access in their counties. So we're currently, Kate, myself, and Josh Tossi in the office are having conversations with stakeholders and communications with county stakeholders just to confirm what counties are working on, what the priorities are, and how we can support what they're doing with this funding.
Thank you, Mark. Is there any questions? Other questions?
Hey, Mike, it's Joe Grasso. Could I make a comment?
Sure.
Hey, Mark, just as an FYI for Saratoga County, the county has budgeted $2.1 million in our 2022 budget related to broadband. We plan on using some of our $45 million allotment from ARPA funds to be put towards broadband. And the 2.1 million is comprised of two different things where we've budgeted $100,000 to be put towards a broadband feasibility study and mapping exercise regarding broadband throughout the county so that we understand what's served and what is currently unserved. And then we've allocated the remainder, the $2 million towards actual broadband development and infrastructure. So we're hoping that the funding that you're talking about can be parlayed against the funding that Saratoga County is also committed so that we're not, duplicating efforts, but taking advantage of both sources of funding to advance broadband in Saratoga County, which there's obviously, significant parts of Saratoga County are very rural and still don't have broadband to their households and businesses.
Well, from my perspective, that would be a slam dunk for me, and certainly the easiest thing for us to do is, throw our money into that effort. I will mention that the New York State Department of Public Service, or the Public Service Commission, has engaged a contractor to do a statewide inventory that they claim will provide address level data on internet access and internet quality. Their contract is ECC. However, there's some questions about how local governments will access that data, but they have indicated that that data will be available in March. Is that right, Kate? March 22? So we're just hoping that there's going to be some harmony between local planning efforts and that new data resource. So we'll keep you posted on what we hear about that. I sent an email to Ridge Harris from the County Administrator's Office this morning. just to check in on where you guys stand. So I appreciate that detail, Joe, about the scale of that project.
Great. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Any other questions on that? That being said, Mark, can you tell us about item 8, which is the 2021 year-end review, please?
Yes, I just have to bring up, I know everyone's excited to see my PowerPoint. You can't, I mean, I try to keep the PowerPoints limited, but we'll do one now. But I have to share my screen. This is going to be weird. All right, where is PowerPoint? Thank you for your patience, folks. What I will do is simply open up the PDF. Share that. All right, can everyone see my screen? Thumbs up.
Yes.
All right, 2021 year in review. It was an interesting year, but I think we made a lot of good progress, and thanks to the staff here. I want to remind the board of the board's strategic initiatives. We recently updated those at the close of 2020, and our strategic initiatives continue to be communication and outreach, enhancing CDRPC's role in supporting local and regional initiatives, examining and supporting regional growth and development, increasing our financial stability, and of course, adapting to the pandemic. In terms of our administration this year, staff is continuing to work on hybrid work schedules, but we have made, they have all the tools that they need to work remotely, being able to access and communicate and coordinate using different remote work tools. All of our meetings were this year for CDYCI, CSO, and CDRPC were conducted virtually or hybrid in person. Staff attended almost 150,000 minutes of Zoom meetings. I know that might be horrific to some of you people, but that's the name of the game. We added a staff-funded FSA benefit for staff this year. We shifted our health insurance to NISHIP for staff, and we were able to secure an aggregate 5% increase to the county appropriations to CDRPC this year. So thank you for all the board members who assisted with making a joyful noise for CDRPC so we can get that additional funding. So outreach and training, our training program this year again was virtual. We hosted 12 training webinars. 680 people participated in that training session. We did 73 e-blasts, a number of newsletters. We experienced a 26% increase in social media followers, 40,000 users on our website, and we are quoted in 27 news articles throughout the year. In terms of direct benefit to communities and counties, we completed 4 technical assistance projects in 2021, and we began 5 in 2021 that will be completed in 2022. And these projects benefit communities in each one of our 4 counties. In terms of our data services, 2021 was a big year. We launched a COVID recovery dashboard. We're able to map address changes from New York City and other economic indicators. Josh Tossi very quickly made an interactive map in Tableau at the census tract level and municipal level for the redistricting data that was released by the census, putting it at the fingertips of users across our region. We completed 5 school enrollment projections on our capital region indicators, added zip code school district geographies. So now more than 50 indicators are available at the school district or zip code geography on that tool. Our Clean Energy Communities program, making great strides. We were awarded another multi-year grant in 2021. $5.3 million for a 5.5-year engagement for the program. 165 communities have achieved Clean Energy Community designation, And CDRPC has helped facilitate $8 million in municipal grant awards for clean energy projects. I'd like to compliment and thank Todd Fabozzi for his leadership and the Clean Energy Outreach team for all the good work that they've done to make that program a success. Included in their portfolio is also the Clean Heating and Cooling Program. This is focused on heat pump technology, either air source or ground source heat pumps, and the adoption at the residential level. So some of the statistics are here. 255 people enrolled in the program. Contractors provided 39 quotes for installs, and 29 contracts for that work was signed. Another big success in 2021, and this is really leveraging the sustainability team's success in the Clean Energy Communities Program. We were awarded a 2-year, $1.2 million grant for the Climate Leadership Coordinator services, and this is through the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. CDRPC will be responsible for coordinating the program deployment in the green area of the state. So similar to the footprint of the Clean Energy Community Program, we will be coordinating services basically in half of the area of New York State. We hope to launch the program once we receive a contract from the DEC in February 2022, and we will be onboarding a new outreach coordinator person who will work on both the Climate Smart and Clean Energy Community programs. In terms of our water quality portfolio, the largest project in the 15-year long-term control plan has started construction, the Beaver Creek Clean River Project, otherwise known as the Big Hole in the Ground in Lincoln Park in the city of Albany. If you have the wherewithal to take a look at it, it's a massive infrastructure project that will be the single largest contributor of reducing CSO contamination in the Hudson River between here and New York City in the history of these kind of projects. So a significant project for not only the Capital District, but for all the communities along the Hudson River from here to New York City. A lot of administrative work was done this year to make sure communities are on the same page and paying for each other's projects. So great success in that regard. The 604B Water Quality Program, again, we've been working on the Water Valide Source Water Protection Plan update in Albany County, taking a look at a lot of watershed resources and protection resources. And we continue to work on the Tomahawk Source Water Protection Plan in Rensselaer County, including data collection and mapping. On the Capital District Youth Center, this is our region's juvenile secure detention facility. We completed schematic design for an $11 million facility expansion and improvement project that's driven by the Raise the Age law. We issued an RFP for a construction manager in 2021. Recruitment and retention of staff, including a staff incentive for vaccines, were implemented in 2021. COVID rapid testing and quarantine protocols were refined in 2021. We secured a $30,000 grant to install Wi-Fi throughout the building to facilitate e-learning and the use of tablets. The facility had the lowest rate of incidence of any juvenile facility in upstate New York, testament to the good work of our operators. And a generous funder from our operator has offered college scholarships to every youth who goes through the program at the secure detention facility. Our economic development portfolio, we've been very busy, including the CARES Act economic recovery work, some things I already mentioned, the subawards, the economic recovery dashboard, support and technical assistance for data analysis. Subgrant work continues for Albany County. You can see some of the things that they're working on. Rensselaer County is working on business resiliency and resource awareness, and Schenectady County is doing business assistance and program promotion. Again, not reinventing the wheel, but supporting the people that do the work and are on the ground in economic development. COVID-19 recovery, we already went over the economic recovery dashboard, and we've been providing significant technical assistance related to the Build Back Better Regional Challenge and the Good Jobs Challenge to a number of organizations in the Capital District and potential applicants facilitating meetings with the Economic Development Administration and assisting with project development. I mentioned this previously, but this is one of the other projects from the CARES Act of the Clean Energy Supply Chain Study. And this is really looking at how we can leverage and accelerate the benefits of the major investment that's being made at the Port of Albany and the Port of Quinlan's in offshore wind and maximize upstream and downstream supply chain benefits and opportunities related to offshore wind. Broadband, we just mentioned this. We're trying to assist counties in the expansion and adoption of broadband. It's a $176,000 grant that we received or will receive, but were awarded in 2021. Continued outreach related to our foreign trade zone. We completed 5 economic impact analyses in 2021, and we will be starting one, just for your information, to do one for the University of Albany, an economic impact assessment there. And as always, my favorite picture, thank you to the CDRPC team. Some of them have gone, and we have new people that aren't reflected in this picture, but I don't think the entire staff has been together since 2019. So anyway, we would not be able to do the good work that we do without very talented people that work here. And we just hope continued success in 2022.
Thank you, Mark.
Jill Fauci is gone from the picture. She is the second one in from the left. She got a job as the energy portfolio manager for the Adirondack North Country Association. So she's the one person that left.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
That's a baby behind.
I want to say that we're very lucky to have a very committed staff here of employees that are very focused, they're flexible, and as shown in the 2021 report, they have accomplished so much, and I want to thank them. On that hand, is there anything else that there's questions on or issues?
You're going to do the executive session? Okay.
On that, we have one other issue, and that is to go into executive session regarding a personnel and salary discussion. Mark?
Yep.
You
So
have to leave, so
I do. Let me just put everyone in breakout rooms. So when I put you in breakout rooms, that means you'll be able to see and talk to each other, but we won't be broadcasting live on YouTube. So I'll do that, and then I'll leave the room, and you can discuss my my performance.
Mark, Jim, for me, or
You can go out. So either one of you two can just take brief notes.
just let me know who makes the motion to get in and to executive, please, and out.
okay. So we need the motion to go into executive into
This technology never ceases to amaze me. This would have been a great tool raising my children. I could have just put them in a break room and pulled them out when I needed them. Judy, will you be available if I give you a quick call after the meeting?
Sorry about that. Absolutely, Mike.
Thank you.
You're muted.
So do I gotta start that over again?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Scott seconds.
Do I have a second?
I think Scott seconds.
Scott
Thank you much. Okay, now we will be returning March 16th, 22. I appreciate it. Everyone stay safe and we will see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations again to the new officers. Good job.